Oh Lord, my baby coming. Every time I think I have a second, but hello. Happy Mother's Day, you guys. Figured I'd just pop in. My lighting is kind of like, I don't know, because it's gloomy outside and it's raining. Y'all know I be getting that natural God glow right here from this great window this great window surrounding this. So, happy Mother's Day. This is officially my 8th Mother's Day, if you want to count the first year from birth to year 1. Yes, my 8th Mother's Day. So I am blessed with 3 kids. Yes. So happy Mother's Day to you. You are blessed beyond measure. And I guess I'll share a few things and then just encourage you to do a few things as a mother. Okay, so first let me share this. I went to like this thing called Crucial Conversations on Thursday evening, I believe it was. My great friend Sean followed me. I'll post her Instagram stuff in the description box because she's another dope mom that's glowing. She's an artist. She sings, she writes, she does everything. So she's cool. That's my dog. That's my dog. But she invited me to this thing called Crucial Conversations, and it was so good, y'all. I was there for like 2 hours. It was so good. There was different topics, but one of the things that was shared was about our children, and that our children are gifts from God, but we are just here to, I'm rewording it all the way around, but we are just here to present our children as a gift to someone else. So meaning when they reach the time of marriage or whatever, relationships, and it's time for them to move on and marry the one that they were purposed to marry, that's what we're doing. We're just cultivating them, and we are getting them together and preparing them to be a gift to someone else. Now, when I heard that in this perspective, I was like, wow. That was like deep for me, because I already know that, God has really been speaking to me about my children. And I do know that, they are not just for us to do whatever we want to do with them and make them do whatever we want them to do. We are here to cultivate our children with God. So we are working hand in hand with God to raise these children up to become who He has called them to be, and then also gift them to who they're purposed to marry and do life with. So that perspective of that was like, wow, for me. So just know that that's your purpose. You have children, but you are working hand. God has given you them as a gift, and He has given you them to not only help you identify yourself and who you are, but to push them and cultivate them to become who they're supposed to be, so they can, like I said, do what they're supposed to do and be a gift to someone else. So the same way that your husband is a gift to you, think about it in that perspective. That gets me. But your husband is a gift to you. You are a gift to your husband. We love gifts. I mean, I love getting gifts. I don't get them often, but I love getting gifts. That's material anyway. But think about that feeling, and think about the fact that when you let your children go to someone else, you think about how you wrapped that gift so perfectly to present that gift to someone else. So that's for my son and my 2 daughters. I am wrapping them up through this time as they grow. And as I cultivate them, it's like I'm wrapping them like you want to wrap the perfect Christmas gift, but you're doing it with God. So look at your children in that way, like you're cultivating them to become a gift for someone else. That's so deep. Another thing is that I heard in church today is that you definitely need to know who you are, so you can help your children identify who they are. That was another deep thing for me, because it's like, who did God call you to be? Who are you? Do you know who you are? You're not just a mother, but it's important to know who we are, who God has called us to be, So as we grow and we become more of who we are and know our identity as child of God, as Crystal, as mother, as wife, you still have to know who you are and be planted, and then you can help your children tap into their purpose and their calling and know who they are. Because if you don't know who you are, you're gonna mess everybody up. That's just point blank period. I believe I've talked about this in other videos, but if you don't know who you are, it just ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. So that was another thing that was said today. I went to a Mother's Day brunch yesterday, which was very nice. And I had a perspective of like 3 different women, and also my mama, which is my spiritual mom. And she's the mother of the church. She is our leader. So we had so many different perspectives. We had a perspective of marriage and being married for 39 years. A woman that was married for 39 years. We had her perspective, and she said that it works. Like, marriage does work. And in these days, we give up so easy in marriage. We don't even consider our children, or we don't consider anyone else. We just feel like, oh my God, marriage is so hard. I've been there. I've been on the brink of divorce. But only reason I've been on the brink of divorce is because I didn't know who I was. So here I am in this journey trying to find who I am. And I felt like my husband just didn't get me because I'm trying to know who I am. And I'm like, I ain't got time to deal with you. So I was on the brink of divorce. I was sabotaging our relationship. But she was saying after 39 years of being married, she got married at 19 years old, it does work. You have to put in the work. You have to know who you are. You have to lead your husband from a wife's perspective, because your husband will follow you in what you do. Your husband is watching you. But all of that to say it works. It can work. Don't give up, because people give up on marriage. So we got Kim Kardashian being married for 72 days. This is what society is presenting before us as marriage. And that's not what marriage is about. And marriage is important in motherhood, because that's another thing that we cultivate in our children. We also prepare them, because if we're presenting them as gifts to someone else, we're presenting them to be the husband or the wife that they need to be. So we're to be examples, and they're watching us and what we do as a wife, as a husband, as a single mom or a single dad. They're watching what we do because they are looking at things that they're going to take into their adult life and into their marriage. So it's important that you be an example. And that was so good. And I'm like, I'm going to be at 39 years too, girl. Plus, you know what I'm saying? So it does work. You have to have faith. You just have to keep going. You have to keep pushing. We also had a perspective from a lady, and she has been married and divorced, and she's been single for 17 years. And now at 62 years old, she's another mother in our church. She is about to get married in a few months. So she talked from the perspective of singleness and treating your body like a temple. Because if you treat yourself like a temple, this person will treat you the same. So you have to show people how to treat you. And that's what she was saying from her 17 years of waiting on her husband to come. So the other perspective was from, she's a younger mom. She's in her 40s, I believe. I love her. She is another one that I reach out to and seek a lot of wisdom from, because she's raised 7 kids on her own, 6 kids on her own. And then she got married and had another child. But she raised 6 kids on her own, I believe, for 6 or 7 years by herself. So she gave wisdom, and she was the one that said that it's important to know who you are so you can help your children become who they're supposed to be. Because if you don't know who you are, and you can't do that, period. And she was saying you have to treat each one of your children as individuals. It's not an all-in-one type of situation, because all of your children are not the same. God did not create all of them to be the same. They were created to do different things. So it's important that you know your children and you tap into each one of their purpose as they get older, and make sure that they have a relationship with God and know who God is. That is important. So my weekend was like amazing. Like Friday evening, I went out with my parents. I haven't done that in a long time. Went out to eat with them, and my dad treated me and my mom to dinner. Then Saturday, I went to Mother's Day brunch, and then today, church was amazing. Even though my husband is not here to spend Mother's Day with me, I am blessed. Like this weekend was so full of just goodness for me. And I can honestly say for the first time in a long time, I have not felt this way on a Mother's Day, but my heart is actually full as I talk about what I did this weekend. It was great. So I just want to pop in and encourage you and tell you to embrace your season as a mother, because eventually we're going to have to release our children. And I honestly don't know how I'm going to handle that. I mean, I'm not even thinking about the days when they start to become very independent, like teenage years and into their adult years, and then they get married. I mean, I'm thinking about it from a perspective of setting them up financially so they're good when they get older financially, but also cultivating them to stay true to who they are, because that's so important, because I know how that is, and I was never I didn't stay true to who I was for a long time. So I don't even, I think about different perspectives of when they reach adulthood, but it's just important to know who you are as a mom. Like, your mom, that's one of your titles, but who are you really? And you need to check that, reevaluate that if you don't know, if you can't answer that question right now and say who you are. Like, you have to know who God called you to be and made you to be in order to, help your children do the same. Like, there's dysfunction if you don't know who you are, because you can't do that for your kids. I'm going to always say, I don't want to be the mom that when my kids get older, I'm telling them what they need to do when I didn't do none of what I'm trying to get them to do. I'm trying to lead by example. And if I don't teach them anything else, or when they become an adult, if I don't say anything else to them, I want to be able to be the example of I was who God called me to be. I did what God told me to do. I filled the destiny that God had for me. Like, that's what I want to do. And I want to be able to really look my children in the face and say that I did that. And I want to hear it from them. I want them to be able to say, my mom did this, 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 and she was true to it, and it was who she was. So as generations go, it'll keep going, 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 and that's who this generation of Claytons will be. So, getting all these Mother's Day texts. But happy Mother's Day to you. Okay, so those were my tips from my weekend of fullness. I received so much wisdom over this weekend. So grateful. But also, I want to encourage you, because I did a video about 2 years ago when I was pregnant with my last baby, about just making sure that your kids are set up financially. And one of the best gifts that we can give our kids is protection, and that's insurance. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Nobody ever wants to have this topic or talk about this, but you just want to make sure your kids are straight. So if you ever leave earlier than you expected, or say it's not even about death, it's also about accidents or getting hurt, or you never want to have a time in your life where you have gaps that just tear your family apart or cause chaos. You want to be able to position yourself where your family can keep going regardless of the situation. And insurance is so important. So I just want to encourage you to reevaluate your insurance, your protection for your family, your covering for your family financially, and have wisdom when it comes to this situation. Make sure you have the sufficient amount of life insurance and health insurance, car insurance, all insurance, savings. Just make sure you're set financially, so you never know what tomorrow brings. And if you get hurt, or a child gets hurt, your husband gets hurt, you want to make sure that it's not going to cause any confusion or chaos in your life. Once you put your kids in a certain situation and they're used to it, you want to make sure that everything could keep running smoothly when something unexpected happens, right? So I want to encourage you to do that. That is one of the best gifts that you can give your family, your children, give yourself, because it gives you peace of mind. Because you know when things are out of whack and things aren't in order, there's no unity, especially financially. Finances causes a lot of breakup. Finances cause divorce. It causes miscommunication. It causes so much stuff bad to happen in families. So you want to make sure that you do that for your family. And that's my financial tip, your money glow up. So just wanted to pop in and say happy Mother's Day again. From me, Crystal, the founder of the Mommy Glow Up. This is not the only day of the year because we are mothers 24/7. So whoever created Mother's Day, I mean, there should be no specific day because that's every day for us. So even when Mother's Day come, I told my husband this morning, I'm like, I don't want to talk about just one day of the year. Like, I work hard for these, with these kids. I mean, I'm barely getting sleep around this piece. Every day is Mother's Day. So I don't want to just expect a certain gift on Mother's Day. And I don't want to teach my children to fall into tradition of Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, and all this stuff like these holidays. Every day your life should be celebrated. Every day you should be celebrated for what you do. You should be thanked for what you do, appreciated for what you do, because it's not easy. Even the children don't have an easy life. We be saying that they do, but they don't. Children do not have easy lives either. Husbands don't, wives don't. So every Mother's Day is every day. So that is it. Remember to glow. Remember to affirm yourself. Remember to do what makes you happy, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, Mom. Remember to do what makes you happy. Remember to do what makes you glow. Remember to do what makes you happy. Remember to do what makes you glow. Remember to identify who you are. Remember to know who you are and stand firm on that. Remember to treat your body like a temple, and you teach people how to treat your body like a temple, how to treat you like a queen that you are, girl. Yes. So I'm out. Follow me on Instagram at the Mommy Glow Out. Reach out to me, holler at me, send me a DM, comment on something, comment below. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. That's what the Mommy Glow Up is all about. I'm here to encourage you. Another thing I wanted to say before I leave, not knowing who you are can put your family in poverty. Think about that. I'm going to talk more on that. I'm going to have another video about that. But not knowing who you are can cause poverty and lack in your family. Think about that. I'm out.